Mark, since the 2-year XL from the Football League, our funding from that body has now ended. We've had to turn to other avenues. Tell us now what is happening with the youth structure as we know it.
Well, everybody knows, unfortunately, we lost the funding, and that meant the end of the Centre of Excellence. Sad time for me personally, having been involved on and off for 18 years. But unfortunately, it was inevitable. Once we dropped out of the Football League, everybody knows it was going to go, and unfortunately, it's gone. So, after lengthy discussions with the chairman, he asked my opinion what we could do, and we've come up with this idea, and I think it's a new, very exciting idea. I can't really say too much at the moment because we've got a big, important meeting on Friday, but after then, we'll start rolling it out and explaining it more.
So what do you anticipate will happen? I appreciate you can't go into too much detail because talks are ongoing, and as you say, you've got a big meeting on Friday. But what do you anticipate will come out of that meeting? I
can anticipate something probably better than what we've had in the past. Exciting for the youth of Mansfield. Hopefully, long-term plan, and I know the chairman's fully behind this, we want to see local players, Mansfield lads, playing for Mansfield Town. That's the bottom line. But having said that, if they're good enough. And if we get an intake of lads, local lads from Mansfield who are all up to scratch, all good standard, then they've got a chance hopefully to progress through the system and go on to play for the first team like we've said. If we can't get that quality locally, then unfortunately we are going to have to look a little bit further afield. But the bottom line is Mansfield lads playing for Mansfield Town.
So how will it work?
Well, like we just said earlier, we can't go into that much detail till after Friday because it wouldn't be fair on the people concerned. It's very important we do this right, we treat people properly. So after our meeting on Friday with this group of people, then we'll know a little bit more. We can take it a stage further and hopefully have it in place in maybe next couple of weeks, but we will keep people informed on that.
Am I right in saying you'll be combining your role as football and the community officer with a new role with the youth department?
Yeah, that's very much what I've done for the past 18 years to be fair, but yeah, I'm going to be a little bit more involved. The football and community can look after itself. Don't get me wrong, I'll never ever neglect football and community and everybody knows that. But now I'm going to give a little bit of time to the youth side of things. It's my opportunity, a new challenge for me. You know, the chairman's given me the go ahead to push forward with it, which I'm looking forward to doing. And hopefully it's going to be a real good thing.
So what will you be doing?
I'll be bringing not only the community into the football club, but the youth as well. Like we said earlier, we're looking to give the lads or the youth of Mansfield a real good opportunity to coming into this new setup. Now, in the past, yes, they've had the opportunity to come in, but we've always had this stumbling block where they didn't want to leave the teams in the youth league. Yeah, because if they come to sign for us in the Centre of Excellence, the first thing they had to do is packing with all the friends and all the coaches which they got to like in the youth league. So they were very reluctant to come to us. Now, hopefully, that barrier is no longer in our way. So if we wanted to invite a lad in at 16, hopefully there would be nothing there to stop us from doing that.
On a personal note, how do you feel about this all, bearing in mind your position from the Centre of Excellence, of which you were the Assistant Centre of Excellence Director a year ago, was made redundant?
Yeah, I'm just glad to help the club. As long as the club and, like I say, people of Mansfield are looked after, that's all I'm really bothered about. This club deserves better than it's had, in my opinion. I don't think Centres football's worked really for a long time at this club, for whatever reason. But now, hopefully, we can push forward and we can produce a real good youth setup. And I think a lot of clubs will look at this and think, that's not bad at all. That's not bad at all.
Just how big news could this be for the club in its history?
I think it to be a massive piece of news, in the club's history. Yeah, we've had a good youth policy. We've had some excellent centre directors. We've had some good youth team managers. But now we're just going to change direction slightly and look to improve it. It's been forced upon us. There's no other choice. Yes, we could all throw towel in and not have a youth policy at this club. And to be fair to the chairman, he's the one who really wants to keep this going. For whatever reason, he wants to keep the youth policy at Mansfield Town going. So we've got to jump on board and we've got to try and do it.
In your vast experience with working with young people, youth players and the youth setup here at Mansfield Town, is this the best way that the club can go forward?
I think it is. Yeah, we've got no other choice really, but apart from scrapping the whole lot, that would have been an option. But we decided no, like I said, the chairman wanted to push on, so we've come up with this idea, and I think it's going to be excellent. We've got a new youth team manager in place, very nice chap, Paul Hall, ideal for this role, and we're going to try and feed some good players into him and push it forward.
So what we're waiting now is to see what develops out of those talks at the end of the week, and there could be some big news next week.
Hopefully there will be some big news next week. What we intend to do, and I know the chairman's keen on this as well, we're going to keep people informed on it. The fans want to know that we're not just scrapping everything. It's important to the fans, I should imagine, that they want to see a good youth policy in place, and I'm going to work my hardest to make sure that there is.
I asked this question to Paul Hall when he was appointed last week. I'm going to ask it you, Mark. What's your youth ethos?
The youth ethos is to provide a real good base, if you like, or environment for these lads to come in and show us what they can do. Yeah, they've had some excellent coaching out there from different coaches in the Chad Youth League, the Little Kickers, and all them sort of places. Well, now let's see if they can come into the football club and take it on to the next stage. Yeah, and that's basically it. That's our ethos. To give, like I said earlier, to give local lads a chance to come into the local club and have a chance of playing professional football. Now, it's very important that the first team manager gets behind this, which I'm sure he is, as long as the standard of player required is in front of him. That's very important.
I look forward to speaking to you in greater detail next week.
Okay, thanks a lot.